What is going on, everybody? It is Frank the Tank, and welcome to Summer League Series week number 2. We're 1 week removed from that horrible week 1 performance where I scored like a 555 series. And me being someone with an over 200 average, that is obviously unacceptable. But it happens. We all have that one day of bowling where we're just like, we just, you know. We all have that one point where we're all stuck in a rut. But the good thing is that we eventually get out of it. But I can tell you right now that for week 2, spoiler alert, week 2 is no better than week 1. In fact, it is actually a whole hell of a lot worse, and you're going to see exactly why. So in the lead up to week 1, I wasn't able to get any practice in because I took a break after the last league ended. I took like a 2-week break until the next league was going to start, which was this league. So yeah, I took a 2-week break from bowling altogether, and it didn't go well, obviously, with the performance I had in week 1. And just like the lead up to week 1, for the lead up to week 2, I wasn't able to get any practice in. For that reason being, I had a very busy workload, so kind of unfortunate, but. For those of you who wonder, yes, I do always want to try to get in at least one day of practice because I'm that type of person that I can lose my form or anything that I learned after not having practice for a certain amount of time. So yeah, I have that problem where I can revert back to my old habits, and that's why I always try to at least get in one day of practice. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. So hopefully in this week of league that you're about to see, those old habits don't really come back to bite me. But for this week of league, despite the fact that I couldn't get any practice in, I felt good. I felt, ready. I felt pumped. Because thinking about what happened in week 1, I was telling myself, like, I'm ready to get back there. I'm ready to put in a really good series. Out with the negativity and in with the positivity. And then when I arrived at the lanes to see what pair they were going to put us on, all my confidence, all my momentum just went to the max because they put us on this pair. That's right. They put us on lanes 1 and 2. Now, for those of you who are thinking, why is that bad? Well, if you kept up with my previous league series, you'll know how I feel you'll know exactly how I feel about lanes 1 and 2. They, in my opinion, are one of the worst pairs in the house. I don't know how, but my PSO told me this is the highest scoring pair of the house. This pair has the most 300s. From the day this place opened all the way up to now, this pair holds the record for the most 300s in this place. I find that hard to believe because of how difficult it is to bowl in this pair. The opposing team even felt the exact same way. When they arrived and they saw that they were getting put on the same pair as us, they were like, oh, great, this pair. I instantly knew how they were feeling. I knew from that exactly what they were talking about. So it is here that I say, thank Christ that I did not bring any of my high performance stuff or any of my upper mid stuff, because I had no idea we were going to be put on this pair. You guys know this paper right here, like the one where it shows you, the leaderboard, and right there it shows you where you're going to be and where you're going to be next week. Well, they didn't lay this out for week 1 because they hadn't put it together. Yeah, it was just like walk into the place and find out where you're going to be. We had no idea because they didn't put this out. So I got to give a huge shout out to my man Ivan Herrera, who customizes my bowling shoes, because he was the one who basically helped me pick this 3-ball arsenal. We were having a conversation a couple days prior to this day, and he was the one who was telling me, you should take this and you should take this, not this, because I was going to take the Omega Crux and something else when he told me, I think you should take this, not knowing what was going to happen for this week of league. So thank you very much, Ivan, because you came in clutch with the choices, not even though you didn't know what was going to happen and I didn't know what was going to happen. And speaking of the 3-ball arsenal, here it is. So for ball number 1, what I would consider to be the weakest ball in the bag, surprisingly, is the 0 gravity. I brought this one back because obviously me wanting to bring my series back up and my average back up, I felt this was the ball to do it. Because you guys know how I feel about this one. It is a fantastic ball. It has me playing on the right part of the lane. So much miss room. I put 85 by 4 1/4 by 50 on it, and it is an absolute beast. This thing is a house shot killer, and I find that surprising how right I have to be with this ball because of it. You know, it's fitted with an asymmetrical core, and it has a solid reactive cover. So despite this, it gets down the lane pretty far, and it doesn't hook like crazy down lane. It's a house shot killer. It's really good. So I felt that because of we were getting put on 1 and 2, I was like, oh, thank Lord, I decided on taking this ball. So this ball was actually my choice. It wasn't Ivan's choice. Ball number 2, which you are going to see right now, this one was the one that he told me I should take. The hustle wrap. So I'm not gonna lie, I had a little bit of doubt over taking this ball, but then I thought, you know what, this ball is also a house shot killer. It gets down the lane much further than zero gravity, and it doesn't hook like crazy down lane. It gets around the corner pretty soft, and it has really good continuation to it. Part of that, what contributes to that, is that layout that I put on there. I think that's 60 by 4 by 30. And this ball definitely has a lot of miss room to it, but I do have to move a couple boards to the left compared to the zero gravity. But one thing that made me think like, yeah, you know what, you're right, Ivan. This is a good ball to take. Was that this ball handles the lanes when the lanes break down? This ball handles that so well. That's when I was like, dude, yeah, you know what? That's a good call. I'm going to take this ball. So, yeah, you came in clutch with that choice, Ivan. Thank you very much for that. And then the most aggressive ball in the bag, number 3, the Idol Synergy. And I did not pick up this ball at all. I did pick it up during practice, and it just wasn't giving me a good look. So I put it back in the bag and decided, you know what? We're just going to use the hustle wrap and the zero gravity, and we're going to work with that. So that is my 3-ball arsenal for this week of League, and now it's time to see how I fare on this pair. So let's get this thing started. Okay, you guys, so here we go. Lanes 1 and 2. God help us. So I felt that since the lane is fresh, I felt that the best choice would be to start with the zero gravity. And if things started getting a little hectic, I would switch to the hustle wrap. So here we go on the left lane. Form is okay. Ball speed a little slow. Ball looked like it went a little high, but nonetheless, strike to start things off. Okay, so here we go now, second frame on the right lane. And I will have you know that I didn't pick up this ball during practice, which is a big mistake because I think I should have, even though I know how this ball rolls. Look at that. Left the 4-pin, and it slowly started spinning like one of those spinning top thingies. I don't think I've ever done that before, but yeah, the ball didn't really hit back to the pocket. I mean, it just didn't really pick up. So it had me thinking, do I have to move a little more to the right, or... And whiffed. I whiffed on it. So, you see, this is the reason why I go to practice. Alright, so here we go back on the left lane for the third frame, and sticking with the same game plan, no changes. Leaned into it a little too much. Luckily, the ball got back, struck. Alright, so here we are on the right lane now, and I made the adjustment. I went to about 17 after having been on 18 and a half, and that happened. And I want to believe that I got the ball a little too early to the right, and that's why that happened. So I couldn't remember what exactly I was thinking in that moment. But I will tell you that I do hate the 3, 6, 9, 10. It ain't that easy to pick up. Alright, fifth frame after having opened in the fourth. Not bad. That's what I'm looking for. So I know now that the left lane is the good lane, surprisingly, and the right lane is going to be causing me a bit of trouble. And I only say that because the left lane, again, I've been on this pair long enough to know that the left lane likes to dry quicker than the right lane, and the right lane clearly is showing some signs of it's probably just a pinch more oily because, I mean, we can't say that for sure because, again, those couple of shots already that I've taken on the right lane were kind of bad shots. So then I went back to my original plan of standing on, I believe, 18. And I put a little more juice on it at the release. And the ball went high, and I left the 4 again. And again, I whiffed on it. If there's one thing that I highly recommend for you guys is if you're going to go to practice, be sure to add practicing your spares as part of your session. So already this is terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. And it's as if things couldn't possibly get any worse. We now have a split, and things are already bad enough as it is because I have 3 opens, and it's looking highly likely like I could have 4 opens. And we indeed have 4 opens. So at this point, I was thinking to myself, like, now I have to strike out to make this game at least look not terrible. Because if I take it off the sheet, I'll get 183. I went Brooklyn, but I didn't deserve it. So this right lane already causing me problems, and we haven't even gotten this thing started. Okay, so here we go on the left lane now. And that previous shot, I do believe I threw it a little slower, so because I know the release felt the same, so I know I didn't, put too much on it. So I knew now I needed to put a little more power on it so it wouldn't go through the nose again. Leave me that split. That was a little better, and I got it a little more right, and we now have a double. So trying to strike out now is looking pretty good. All right, so here we go for the 10th frame. Needing to strike out to at least make this game look like not terrible. I mean, 183 is not great, but it's not terrible. Anything lower than that is obviously unacceptable. So there we go. See, I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm thinking to myself, like, what the heck is going on here? So here we go. Can I make the baby split, or will this turn it into one of my lowest games ever? And it is indeed one of my lowest games ever. 149. That's a real great way to start this off, huh? 149. That officially stands as my lowest game ever since... I don't even know when's the last time I got 149. I mean, I may have gotten that in practice, but in League, 149, I think it's been well over 2 years since I've last gotten a score like that. All right, guys, here we go for game number 2. And already, I've put myself in a position where I've got to put in 2 big games here because that 149 is just god-awful. But here we go. I continue using the zero gravity because I was fully convinced that I didn't need to make a ball change. I just needed to figure stuff out because clearly my mental game was just a mess is what it was. But yeah, see, for that one, I put a lot more speed on that. You could see it traveled down the lane quicker, and it made it there. I also will add that I made a change, I made an adjustment. I moved from like 18 all the way to 20, so I knew now, okay, I think I may have something here for this right lane now. But here we go for the left. And that happened, and I'm thinking, okay, looks like we got to make an adjustment here too because the lane is already drying up. Because you saw that, the ball popped a little more than compared to what was going on in the first game. So here we go with an easy spare opportunity. Not even thinking about the other spares that I missed. No problem at all. Okay, back on the right. Still standing on board 20. And I knew it off my hand. I got it left of target, crossed over, leaving the 9. And another easy spare. No problem at all. All right, here we go back on the left lane after 9 spare on the left and a 9 spare on the right. Kind of a little slow in the approach, a little bit of a delay in the swing, a little bit left off target, and now we have the 3 and the 6 to deal with. Now, I can't lie, when I was going to spare this, I was a little worried about the amount of friction down lane because of, we saw, like you guys saw it too, I mean, the zero gravity was like flipping a lot more than normal, and I was worried that I was gonna have to like make some adjustments with my sparing, because I know for a fact that I have had that problem on this pair where the spare ball would even hook a little bit. So I was worried that sparing was going to be a little bit more difficult too. Okay guys, so here we go now. I made a ball change. I'm going to the hustle wrap, as you can see right there, and the reason was because of obviously I wasn't getting any strikes. Mentally, I was starting to not be able to play that line. I was like afraid to get the ball to the right, I guess, out of fear that it would go in the gutter. You know, that kind of thing where you keep playing the ball left of target. That was starting to happen to me, and I couldn't get out of it. And not only that, because of how the lanes were drying up down lane, it was starting to make it difficult for my eyes to process how the ball was rolling. So I felt, okay, you know what? We'll pick up this hustle wrap because I can understand how it rolls, even if the lanes are drying up. Because like I said, this ball, I don't know what it is about it, but even if the lane's dry, I can understand what it's doing. It can handle the breakdown really well. So here we go. Went a little high, and I caught a very lucky break there. All right, back on the left lane now. I made the switch to the hustle wrap completely for both lanes. And need I mention, I stood on 21 on the right lane, and I'm doing the exact same here on the left lane. Pretty good. See what I'm talking about? Handles it so well. The zero gravity, on the other hand, I don't think it would have been able to handle that. So I felt like I had a pretty solid game plan now. Hustle wrap, board 21 on both lanes. That's a good one. Oh yeah. 7 stood a little late, but I knew I'd gotten that ball right, and I didn't get it right too early. I got it down there just right. All right, back on the left lane, working on trying to get 3 in a row. That is a good shot, right on target. See what I'm talking about? The ball doesn't like overhook, it gets nice and easy around the corner, even if the lanes are drying up a bit. All right, here we are on the right, trying to get 5 in a row on the 9th frame. Been a while since I've had a ham bone, that's for sure. I don't even think I got one in the last week of league, but that definitely ain't gonna happen as I get the big 4. Yanked it, and I lose count. All right, here we made it to the 10th frame of the second game, and this game is, I would say, a much bigger improvement compared to 149. So I knew I needed at least a mark. Obviously, a strike would make it easy to at least pass over 200. See that? The ball kind of like flipped a little quicker. That lane's getting pretty dry, so game 3 is going to be quite a struggle. I will admit I did kind of get a little bit lucky because I got that ball a little more right than I should, and it looked like it lined up to the pocket, which should have left me a 10, but it didn't. Kind of dropped that one. There it is. You see that? Ball went high into the pocket, and I knew from that I felt like I was going to have to move a little bit left for game 3. But because of those 2 times I whiffed on the 4-pin, I told myself, don't pick up the spare ball, just curve at it. And that's exactly what I did. Alright, so we wrap up game 2 with the 205. Not bad, could have been better, but knowing this pair, kind of understandable. But, yeah, game 3 was definitely going to be interesting. And you know that thing that I don't know if I mentioned this, about how you could stand on one board and then suddenly the next shot, the ball just like overhooks like crazy? This is an example. I was on board 21 in the 10th frame. And I was still on board 21 for this shot, and suddenly it went 4 through the middle. And I'm thinking, whoa, how did that happen? Again, though, I will say that ball looked like it was traveling down the lane a little slower than any of my other shots, so that could have played a factor into it. So now I have the 3, 6, 9, 10 with the 4, 7 to deal with. And I made it! Oh my god. That has to be the highlight of the night right there. The spare of the game, I guess you could say. Yeah, that one, it was weird. Like, I guess all those spins caused the pins to just go crazy, but yeah. I couldn't believe that I had gotten that. So yeah, still standing on board 21 for this shot here. Seemed like a good shot, but yeah, right there instantly I'm thinking to myself, oh, okay, I gotta make a move here too now. I wasn't about to pick up my spare ball again for that. All right, third frame, clean through 2. That's where I made the move to 23 right there. And that almost didn't strike. I don't know if you guys saw that. That 9-pin fell last, so wow. I mean, these lanes really are drying up if the ball is really hooking that much. All right, clean through 3 frames now. Going for the 4th. This lane, man, I tell you, it's really strange. At one point, the ball goes high into the pocket, and then in another, doesn't come back. Really strange. Well, it's good to know that I can still spare my 10s. All right, here we go back on the left lane after having gotten a strike. Standing on board 23. Okay, now that one off my hand, I knew that would happen because, well, I didn't know with 100% certainty, but I felt like it was likely that would happen because I could feel off my hand that I didn't put enough. And you guys could see the ball deflected when it hit the pocket, so it made sense that that 10-pin stayed there. So, yeah, right off the bat, I knew, okay, that one was my bad. That wasn't the ball, it wasn't the lane, that one was on me. But again, nice to know I can still spare my 10s. All right, so for this right lane, I think I finally made the move to 22.5. I didn't go to 23 like I did on the left lane. And finally, I got the shot I was looking for. And I put a lot more on the release because of what happened on this right lane. You guys saw the ball didn't really get back like it should have. So I really put a lot on that one. All right, back on the left. And I knew instantly, left of target. That was a terrible shot. Now, we have a baby split to deal with. And for the second time on this night, I couldn't make the baby split. So yeah, that was really, really unfortunate because I was trying desperately to keep it clean. And that open frame, that baby split really killed the score. So I knew now, great, now I really have to try to strike. Thank God that right lane wasn't causing me any more trouble. All right, here we go back on the left after leaving a baby split here. Slight loft. That ball did seem a little bit slower than my previous shot, so clearly inconsistency is one of the big words here for the night. All right, so a 3-6-10. And I'm not going to lie, I was a little worried there. I was worried that I was going to chop on it. You saw that spare ball. It hooked just a little bit, but luckily it held. If I had any one of the overseas Belmo spare balls, I probably would have chopped on it. Luckily, this original black Belmo spare ball, they go a lot straighter than the overseas ones. All right, here we go on the 10th frame. Ball went through the nose again, and now I have a split to deal with. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it, and that is another bad score, and I finish off with the 171. Okay, you guys, so here is the summary for week 2. Oh man, I don't even want to talk about this right now, but I've got to. So here it is. For game 1, we got 149, which stands as probably my lowest game ever in the past 2.5 years. Game 2, I thought things were picking up when I got 205, but thanks to what happened in the 10th frame of game 3, that didn't happen, and I got 171, so that made for a total of 525. Just when I thought I couldn't get any lower, I did. So last week's series total was 555, and I just plummeted even lower, and as you can see, the series required to raise the average would have been 561. So I didn't do that, and I feel like I'm going to find myself saying that a lot in the summaries. So that brings my pin total to 1080 after 6 games played, and now that I have week 1 to work off of, I can now calculate this a little better. And I don't know, like I still haven't like based on the paper here. It says 214 BK. I don't know what BK means. I'm sure some of you out there probably know what that means, but I don't know if they're working off of that 214 average that I got in the previous league. But right now, I'm treating this like if I was starting from 0, if you know what I mean. So yeah, with week 1 and week 2 only combined, and not including anything from the previous week of league, this is what we got. So yeah, my average last week was 185 technically. Not 212 like it said in week 1 summary. And because of what happened today, my average is now 180. So I pray to God that for week 3 that things will get better. And I definitely got to practice some more because my form obviously was not looking too good. It was okay, but you know, if I want to get my form back up to what it was and not miss any spares, I definitely got to practice again. So yeah, now my highest game is 205, done twice, one last week and one this week, and my highest series for this league remains 555. So that is what we got for this week of league. This is just ridiculous. I'm indeed stuck in a rut, but I hope that I can get out of it this week, this upcoming week. So yeah, nothing more to say other than oh yeah, for week 3 of league, I'm thinking that I'm going to have you guys pick my Arsenal. I think we can start doing that now because according to the paper here, we are going to be on lanes 7 and 8. So we're out of 1 and 2, thank God. But because there are only like 10 teams in this league, it is very likely that we'll get put on 1 and 2 way more often. So that really sucks. But yeah, luckily we'll be on 7 and 8, and I think I'm gonna have you guys pick up my 3-ball Arsenal for this week of league. So yeah, I'll probably put out the community posts and have you guys vote on that. So I'm Frank the Tank. That was week 2, absolutely horrible. Hopefully we can make it up in week 3. So I'll see you guys in week 3.